Hello, my name is Katherine and today I'm going to speak to you about a posture called Adho Mukha Swan Asana, also known as downward facing dog. In this posture we are taking a mild inversion because we've got our heart raised above our head, however our feet are still grounded on the floor, so we have a nice grounding. Firstly I'm going to speak to you about our pre-postures, which could be our standing forward fold, our cat-cow position and also the tabletop position. We want to start this pose in the tabletop position to make sure that we have the distance between our feet and our hands correct, and also to make sure that we have got our palms in line with our shoulders and our feet are about hip distance apart. So we've got some joints which are happening, the actions which are happening with our joints through this posture. We've got an extension of our spine, our shoulders are in flexion, our elbows are extended, our knees are extended, our ankles are in dorsiflexion, our wrists are in extension, and then we have got the scapula is in abduction and our hips are in flexion. Some of the benefits of this posture is that it's very calming for the mind. It gives us a good stretch down our ankles, up our calves, down our hamstrings. We also feel the stretch in our wrists. It gives us strength in our shoulder blades and in our shoulders. It can aid digestion. It can also help with mild depression. It can help with back pain, fatigue, and is good for both low and high blood pressure. But of course, as it's an inversion, we need to make sure that we take care if we have got blood pressure which is high or low. Some of the contraindications for this posture are if you have carpal tunnel syndrome, as we are putting quite a lot of weight onto our wrists. We need to make sure that we are protecting our wrists, and we should not engage the chin lock if we have got high blood pressure, as we want to make sure that we have that nice flow of blood going throughout our body throughout the posture. We need to make sure that we are creating some good space between our vertebrae, and that we are not sort of all hunched up, so we've got our shoulders nice and rolled down, and that we've got our arms engaged as well. We've got our three bandhas are working throughout this posture, so we're going to make sure that we're engaging our Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha and Jalahanda Bandha, and this is going to help us to open up our chakras as well. Our counter pose for this posture would be the upward facing dog, but for today I'm just going to show you the downward facing dog. So here we go. So we're going to start off in our tabletop position, making sure that our hands are nice and firmly placed on the floor. We've got our shoulders hands about shoulder width apart. Our elbows, we want them to be facing in towards each other. We've got our knees about hip distance apart. Our toes are hitting on the mat, so we're starting off in our tabletop. We're then going to engage our core and push ourselves back into our downward facing dog. Now when we first get into downward facing dog, we might want to pedal the feet out a little bit, just to really engage and stretch out those hamstrings. Then we can really get into our posture. We can feel the stretch coming down from our hamstrings, down our calf muscles. Our hips are tilted nice and high to the ceiling. We've got a nice straight spine with a line going from the tip of our head all the way down to the bottom of our spine. We're engaging our Uddiyana Bandha and our Mula Bandha, and we have got our shoulders are away from our ears and our arms, tops of our arms are engaged and round. We need to make sure that we keep breathing in this posture. And then we can come out through any other posture, but for today we're just going to come back down to tabletop and come back down to sitting. So we need to make sure that when we're in this posture that we are really engaging our core to protect our spine. We also don't want to be lifting our head up too much or around that much. We want to make sure that we have that nice alignment along the back of our spine, and we're tilting our hips up into the air. If we were taking a modification, we could be using a block. If we needed to protect the wrists, we could place the block against the wall, so it's kind of leaning against the wall, and place our hands on that. We can also protect the wrist by making sure that we're engaging our thumb, first finger and middle finger, and we're really giving a strong platform for our hands, and to protect the wrist there as well. If we have got any shoulder or back pain, back issues, we need to make sure that we are keeping that straight spine, and also that we're engaging our muscles to protect any of our bones and all of our bones, and to protect any injuries which we might have. as I said earlier, if a student has got high blood pressure, they need to make sure that they're not taking the chin lock, but they're keeping the head nice and straight. This posture is one that will be used quite a lot in a class, and to start with can be quite difficult for beginner students because they'll really feel that stretch down the back of their thighs and down into their calf muscles. But actually, as we progress further and we become more advanced, this actually becomes quite a restorative posture for us to take. So it's one for all levels and can be used throughout our sequences. Thank you so much.